Good morning and welcome to another episode of the competition timeout. As you know, my name's Xander, I'm your host, and we're back. It is Thursday. It is August 8th. August flying already. And we are continuing the previews. The NFL. Today we're going to tackle the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last year, they finished with a 10-7 record. Went to the wild card round and lost to the Bills. Okay. So, excuse me, shouldn't have done that into the mic. Uh, Going into the season, they had fired their offensive coordinator and they were looking for one. They ended up hiring Arthur Smith. So, this is going to be interesting to see what's going on. The good thing is that with Arthur Smith, there's some things that he historically likes to do. So, it could bode well for the Steelers. Uh, anyway, uh, as far as the team goes, as far as losses, I would say the only one would be Deontay Johnson, only because he was a proven receiver that they had there. And but honestly, if you look at the Steelers' track record, they always find the receivers. It's what they do. They have like this instinct for drafting receivers and not in the first round and later rounds and everything. So they'll be fine, I believe, but might be an adjustment period, which we'll get to. The additions. So obviously they added free agent Russell Wilson, which fixes. I think they made an effort to fix the quarterback room. They traded for Justin Fields. Uh, they signed Patrick Queen to add to that defense that was already going to be really good, and they drafted Troy Altano. He's also tackle from Washington, and they also drafted wide receiver uh, Roman Wilson. All right. So with the Steelers, those are the changes that happen. Nothing major, nothing crazy. I mean, depends what you want to call that Deontay Johnson trade. But anyway, so nothing really changed on defense. Like I said, they did add Patrick Queen, and that is going to be, I think that's an upgrade. That inside linebacker from what they had. They get a staple there. He'll man the inside. Obviously, they have Highsmith and Watt on the edge. Minka in the back. They had a veteran, Deshaun Elliott. Joey Porter going into his second year. He'll be cornerback one. Also, before I forget, they traded for Dante Jackson. That was part of the Deontay Johnson trade. So he'll be opposite of Joey Porter in there. So I begin to talking about defense because that's the part I'm definitely not worried about when it comes to the Steelers. They're going to have a defense. It's been their thing. Uh, it's gonna be their thing. They're just that's where it starts is defensive football for them, and then everything else follows. Uh, Offensively, a couple of questions. Okay, I do think the offensive line will be better than it has been, so that is a big positive there. And so they have a better quarterback than what they've had in Kenny Pickett and Trubisky and Mason Rudolph. So that is another positive for them. A new also coordinator who's done it in this league. The questions for me are: can Russ have an okay season? Will it be him at quarterback all season? Does have Justin Fields right behind him? So those are the two main things at the quarterback position. Can Russ have a decent season again? And can he play good enough to keep Justin Fields off the field? Uh, Also, for me, with Arthur Smith's pass, having Derrick Henry, can he revive this running attack, which is also something the Steelers historically like to do? Can he revive this running attack of Najee Harris and Jalen Warren? They did sign Cordell Patterson, so somebody he had in Atlanta. Maybe he'll do some interesting things with him out of the backfield. Jalen Warren can do some of those things as well. Not all of them, obviously, but some. Uh, they have they have potential in the weapon side. Obviously, George Pickens steps up to be the number one after Deontay Johnson gets traded. They did sign veteran Van Jefferson. He's on the other side, and then Calvin Austin, who's been there for a couple of years, and also the rookie Roman Wilson. So they do have some options at receiver, and then they got Pat Fairmouth at tight end. So the weapons are there. Can they put it together? I think it all starts with the running game for them. If they can get Najee, Jalen Warren going, uh, that'll set up everything they want to do with, getting Fairmouth involved, making George Pickens, using his potential that has been building for, since he got drafted, obviously. So my biggest questions with the Steelers is offensively, but I do think already just off of having a better QB, the line being a year better, uh, and I do like George Pickens' potential. Uh, it just has to be seen. Him as the number one, Deontay was there as the number one for the last couple of years. So going into his third year is a big year for George, but I believe in him. So I think this will be a much improved offense. I think that I will just say it out loud. I think this is the hardest division in football to predict, honestly. All of these teams are, I mean, all these teams are, are tough. I don't know who to pick to win the division. Uh, they're going to slaughter each other. I think I said this last year too when I was talking about this division. This division might be, I think it is, I'm going to say, I think this division is the best division in the league. This reminds me of the old NFC East when in the early 2000s when the Giants were always good and then the Cowboys and the Eagles were good and then um, Washington was decent enough and it's going to be interesting to see, honestly, because I will preview the rest of the division coming up. But I mean, what can we say? The Ravens always going to be in it. They're looking strong, and we'll, like I said, talk about that as we keep going. The Browns strong. The Bengals, and listen to this. I'm looking at the Steelers schedule. They don't play a division game until week 11, and it's against the Ravens. And then they go three straight division games. So week 12, 13, and 14. So they go the Ravens at home, at Cleveland, at Cincinnati, and then Cleveland comes to Pittsburgh. And then the Steelers go to Philly. Then they go to Baltimore. Then they get the Chiefs at home, and then the Bengals at home to finish the season. So that from week 11 down, that is a tough schedule for the Steelers because they're just playing the whole division. I don't remember seeing that in a while where at the end of seasons when the team plays all their division games and then they're all bunched together like this. Honestly, I don't want to chime in, but this might have been done in consistency with the schedule because of the hard knocks. The in-season hard knocks is covering the whole division, so this might have something to do with it. But wow, what a schedule! The Steelers are going to have to get their wins in the first 10 weeks. So And then obviously they'll, I think they'll split every division game. I think I said that last year. I still feel the same. They're gonna knock each other out, and then they just have to win the games outside of it. So I mean, they go to Atlanta to start the season. I think they should win that. They go to Denver right after. I think they should win that. So 2-0. They go to the Chargers. They have a chance to win that because the Chargers are rebuilding. Who knows? Colts is going to be a tough one. Colts, if everybody's healthy, Anthony Richardson specifically, they should be good. And so that will be a tough one. And it's in Indianapolis. Then week 5, they got the Cowboys in Pittsburgh. Cowboys, we'll see. That's going to be a good one too. They go to Las Vegas. The Steelers should win that. The Jets should be a interesting one. Uh, and then the Giants come in before their bye. And then after the bye, they got Washington. So I see 6 wins there. The Colts, Cowboys, and the Jets are up in the air. So out of those 9 games in the first 10 weeks, because they have a bye in there, I have them predicting winning 6 for sure. And then that end to the season is tough. Baltimore, Browns, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals. Christmas against the Chiefs. By the way, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what that was. Yeah. So, wow, what a tough road at the end for the Steelers. But I think once again in the division they're going to knock each other out. You know, injury. If all the injuries and then there's no injuries happening and everybody's healthy, they'll knock each other out. I don't know how to predict this division, but if they all could get in, I think they might, honestly. But yeah, guys, thank you again for tuning in to these previews and the competition timeout. Tomorrow we're back with the Cleveland Browns to end the week, and then we'll finish the division to start next week. All right, till next time. Peace.